What's up, YouTube family? It's been a while, guys, right? Thank you. I always thank people for just reminding me that they want to see my content. It's always appreciated. This is my house, same house, looks a lot different, right? Different floors, finally got bar stools on the bar. Countertops, that's what we're gonna be talking about. In particular, this surface. This is Dekton, guys. Now, this is not my first rodeo with Dekton. If you watch my previous video, I had Dekton Aura installed in my house. Unfortunately, some things happened, some very terrible things, and I had to kind of redo my entire kitchen, and I'll talk about that when it's still not painful, although that happened more than a year ago, right? I've had these countertops since March of last year, so it's been over a year that I've had these countertops, and I love them. You know, I love the Dekton Aura countertops until you get up close. They were not glossy like these are. These are fingerprint magnet, if you want to know. Yes, they are. You know, for those that are not in the know, Dekton is this really ultra compact surface, is what they're touting it as. And it's pretty much bulletproof, right? It's supposedly stain proof. Heat proof, you can cut on it, just pretty much things that you would never do with a super nice countertop, a super nice expensive countertop, you can do with Dekton. You can even, you know, have it outside, right? It doesn't fade or any of those things. Now, Consumer Reports released a report indicating that it cracks very easily. And that's probably the number one question that I get, or that I did get, you know, with the previous video, is, does this stuff really crack? In my experience, I'm going to tell you no. Dekton has been extremely durable for me. The stuff doesn't crack, doesn't stain. I mean, it's great. My only issue with the previous Dekton surface that I had is that Dekton, as you guys may or may not know, it's very expensive. This stuff can easily run $80 plus more dollars a square foot, plus whatever your installation cost is. So, you know, $15,000, $20,000 for just a countertop job, contingent on how many square feet of countertop you're needing, is not really out of the question for this surface. For me, what was a bit, I'm not going to say frustrating, that wouldn't be the right word, but I don't know, it just kind of bothered me a little bit, is when people saw your countertop, they thought that it was laminate or something like that. And I understand that that shouldn't matter, but on the flip side, when you go out and buy an expensive car, you buy this new Tesla or Mercedes or whatever the case may be, you don't want someone to mistake that car for a Honda Accord. Nothing against Honda, but you pay substantially more, right? So same difference here. So Dekton is very expensive, but it does last. This surface, because it's very glossy and very smooth, people that visit either assume that's a really expensive marble, which I can kind of see, or granite, which I can't see, because granite is generally, you know, has lots more patterns or whatever the case may be. But they don't assume that it's laminate, right? Which is always a great thing. This is their new Xgloss series. This is the Dekton Fiord. This looks substantially different than it does online. I definitely need Dekton to update that, because online it looks like a rust kind of. The patterns have, the colors are kind of like a reddish, orangish rust kind of color. In person, it's not, guys. And actually, I live in Houston, Texas, and I went to, Dekton actually has a showroom off of the Beltway, near I-10, where you can kind of go in and see. And I was kind of shocked, because online I was like, okay, I think I can make this work in my house. But in person, all the orange and rust color was actually grayish, and you can kind of see that here. It's great. It has very nice patterns here. And it, you know, it looks good. You just have to be careful, especially if you are covering a large space. Like, I'm going to try to step back just so you can see how big this island is. It's a huge island, and this took multiple pieces. And Dekton comes in these really big slabs, but for this island, and unfortunately, I can't tell you what the square foot is. I don't remember. I want to say it's 60 or something like that. It's a pretty big island. But they have to use multiple pieces. And while on one solid piece, the patterns look great, when they have to combine multiple patterns is when it becomes difficult. And I must give props to the stone store From Dekton, they came highly recommended, and I see why. Their reviews are amazing. The quality of work that they do is amazing. I'll tell you that, the people that are reporting the cracking of Dekton, either one, they did not get a good installer to do it, or two, they're just kind of reading what Consumer Reports are, what they report, and just kind of run away with that. As a person that have lived with this Surface for a year, guys, I had the opportunity to get anything else but this, right? And I went back to Dekton again just because of my previous experience was so positive. Now, I get a lot of questions again about chipping. If Dekton's going to chip, or really any Surface is going to chip, it's going to chip right here along this, I'm not going to say seams, but along cutouts where generally you're going to be moving pots and stuff in and out of your sink, right? I'm going to do my best. I'm just using my S8 here, but there are not any chips along this, as you can see. And this is where it's going to chip, right? This is where it's going to chip. But there's not any chips along here. It's smooth. And the reason why, I would say this area would be the area that is going to chip is because, you're moving big pots and stuff is shuffling around here. I haven't ran into that problem. The Surface has been really good to me, guys, and I'm not the easiest person on a kitchen. I don't cook all the time, although there's some stuff there. I really don't, which is probably why my stove looks like it's never been used. And if you see the inside of my microwave, you'd be like, holy cow, you never use that. But I would say even for someone that's busy, obviously you want to be careful. You don't want to abuse the Surface, meaning dropping things on it purposely. But if you leave something, spill wine, whatever the case may be, know and understand that this stuff does not at all stain at all, which is what I love. You don't have to be careful with this Surface. If this was anything else but, you have to seal it, or you have to make sure that you hurry and wipe it off. Something else that I want to point out too is with a lot of the Surfaces, there's etching. And etching just simply means that the glossy part, and I'm not going to give you the scientific definition, but it just simply means that the glossy part, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the glossy part isn't glossy anymore. It kind of looks dull because whatever the chemical composition is in the water has removed that glossiness off, and so it just kind of stays there. So let me see. This would be a prime example, right? If this was anything else, yeah, this is perfect. You can kind of see water spots here. If this was anything else but Dekton, this would be permanent. This is why I like this Surface. So what you do, and it's super easy. You don't have to use anything crazy, guys. Like, you get all this, and I have lots of cleaning stuff, but countertop and, all this marble stuff. No. You get a good glass cleaner. I'm telling you, if you have Dekton Xgloss, this is the best thing ever. You get a good glass cleaner, and you just simply spray. That's actually too much. This is how I clean my Surface. Right? Oops, I know you're looking at my GE refrigerator. Oops, I'm just dropping stuff. Sorry. All right. Super easy. This is my cleaning regimen. And it's really easy if you're anal like me. So, what I do is I get and these are all microfiber cloths. This is like the dirty cloth, right? Meaning that it's just pretty much I'm just wiping and cleaning the Surface. Right? As you can see, it's leaving a bunch. It's not dry, but it's just cleaning the Surface. Now, what you're going to notice is that what appeared to be an etch, which obviously Dekton doesn't etch, is gone. It's just a little water spot. But it leaves the cleaning solution, or maybe this needs to be washed, but it leaves kind of like a little residue back, which is where part 2 comes into play. And this is just going to really, I'm sorry, I said residue, but it's just still kind of wet. This is going to dry it all out. I'm going to tell you how easy this stuff is to clean. So you can kind of see that this is my recessed lighting. This stuff is super glossy, guys. Super glossy. Oh, sorry about my finger. Super glossy, right? And then last but not least, and this is, you can get this from your automotive store. This is something that you would use to kind of wipe down your car right after you waxed it. This. And you're done. That's just it. And again, that mark is gone. And that's why I appreciate Dekton so much. Folks come in my house and they think that my kitchen is still fairly new. And I guess for a year it is. But these countertops and stuff has happened. Like, some of my buddies have come over and played beer pong, which I wouldn't recommend. But they played beer pong off of my countertop. This stuff is awesome. So I know I've been talking a lot, but if you have any questions, just, kind of post them in the comment section. But do I recommend Dekton? If you haven't picked that up by this video, hell yeah. Yes. It's a great surface. If you can afford it, it's good. I mean, it looks really good. It's super durable, and you don't have to worry about, especially with a light surface like this, you don't have to worry about stains. And the only reason why I even chose Dekton is because I like the dark and light contrast between the actual cabinets and the countertops. If I went with a darker surface, if I'm honest, I probably wouldn't have spent as much on Dekton. I probably would have went with like a South Stone, which is a quartz surface. Again, it's all man-made. It just isn't as durable, meaning that you're not supposed to put hot pots on it for any length of time. Dekton doesn't really care. Something else I would recommend if you guys have, one of the national chain home stores, is grab samples. This is not Fiord. I think this is a sample of Fiord. And that's kind of what I did. And I took this stuff home and I just use them as coasters. I put markers on it just to kind of really see worst case scenario. And it didn't do anything really. It wiped very clean. Don't put permanent marker, of course. You're going to use lots of elbow grease. But anyway, guys, this has been kind of, I guess, my overview or review of Dekton Fiord. This is a part of, again, the Dekton Xgloss series. It's a great surface. I love it. Super durable. No chips. In my experience, I would tell you, make sure that you get a fabricator that is approved by Dekton, and look at their reviews, because Dekton, again, it is an expensive surface, and I think maybe to a degree they just want people to be able to fabricate their surface so they can kind of get more exposure. But not all fabricators, if you guys know, are not the same. A stone store in Houston came highly recommended. I'm proof that they do a great job. The folks that installed my Dekton before was not the stone store. I was not happy necessarily with them, but overall they did do a good job. But Stone Store Houston, and again, they're not sponsoring this video, by the way. This is just me kind of posting some stuff up, but just really happy with their work, and you can kind of see. But anyway, guys, that is my time. That is my review. Thanks for watching. If you like it, subscribe. Hopefully I'll put some more stuff out. Been kind of busy with work, doing some other things, but thanks again for watching. Have a good night, or good day, or good whatever.